presentation. We'll do a quick live demo, which Fareed will assist us with, and then, of course, the live Q&A. Okay. So first, we'll do a quick introduction into the UCM series IPPBXs, for those of you who might be a little bit more new to these products. So the main UCM that we offer, the UCM 6200 series, is by far the most popular of the IPPBXs in our product line. There are 3 different sizes. There is a 2 FXO port, 4 FXO port, and 8 FXO port version. All 3 sizes come with 2 FXS ports with lifeline capability. You can have up to 100 concurrent calls and up to 32 conference attendees when you use the largest size, and also up to 800 SIP endpoints and 50 SIP trunk accounts. Each of the 3 sizes features dual gigabit network ports, integrated PoE, USB, and SD ports. As with all of our products, there's 0 configuration endpoint provisioning and no licensing fees. We also offer the UCM 6510. This is our largest capacity IPPBX, and it is specifically for E1, T1, and J1 networks with a built-in E1, T1, J1 interface. Features 2 FXO ports and 2 FXS ports, and can support up to 2,000 SIP endpoints and up to 50 SIP trunk accounts, so a lot higher capacity than the UCM 6200 series. It also features dual gigabit network ports, integrated PoE, as well as USB and SD ports for external storage, and as mentioned before, of course, supports 0 config endpoint provisioning, and there are no licensing fees. So the firmware upgrade we will be discussing with all the new features, as usual, is a completely free firmware upgrade. The UCM series is also highly customizable. With any IPPBX, you know, one device will only suit a large amount of different deployments if it's given the ability to have a lot of different features that are customizable for each situation. So you have customizable call routing, auto attendance, and IVR, as well as call queue, forwarding, and retrieval. You can customize music on hold, so if someone has atrocious music on hold, don't worry, that's something you can absolutely fix. You also have different transfer features, ring groups and hunt groups, inbound routes, multiple modes, and many other customizable features that we'll be going over shortly. It also supports all major voice codecs, so you can choose which is best for your particular situation and your deployment. A few of the voice codecs are listed here, including G711, G722 for HD, G723.1, G726, G729, ILBC, GSM, AAL2, and ADPCM. So very extensive list, which you can find right in the web UI of the UCM, so you can customize that depending on your needs. It also is an incredibly secure IPPBX. No one wants to mess around with security, whether it's your phone,
Is it no one?
It doesn't matter. So we offer a lot of comprehensive security features, including a built-in firewall, 802.1x network security, SRTP, TLS encryption, HTTPS web UI, as well as blacklist and whitelist, and real-time asterisk security monitoring. To wrap up, just a quick introduction to IPPBXs. You know, it's both your basic features and a slew of advanced features, and the new firmware that's coming up is going to add even more to the feature set of the UCM series. So some of the basic features include auto attendant, call recording, caller ID, conference bridges, call pickup, call waiting, multiple languages, ring groups, etc. And then into advanced features, for recording server, 0 config, which is the feature that basically makes the UCM so easy to deploy when using other GRANDSTREAM phones. You can do it in literally a matter of minutes using that feature. Of course, firewall and router security, inbound route, multiple mode, LDAP server, video codec negotiation, 3-way video conferencing, just to name a few. You can see the whole list there. I won't go through each and every one individually. But you know, our series of IPPBXs aren't made just to be for a small to medium-sized business that might need only the basic features. We want to make sure that you have options from even some of the most simple deployments to something that could be a little bit more feature-rich and more customizable. Now we'll dive into the UCM enhancements that are coming out with the new firmware version 14 release. Now, as a reminder, this release is slated to come out by the end of June, and we will be doing a training webinar on these next week to further dive in. So today we'll do an introduction to help everyone familiarize themselves with the main features that are coming out. We'll do a quick demo into some of the main features as well, and then we will go over some of the other features that may not be as hefty, but we'll be sure to mention them so you know what to anticipate within the next coming weeks. So for the version 14 firmware release, there are 4 major updates. First, there's going to be an updated redesign of the web user interface. We are also adding call center support and sit presence support, as well as some hefty call queue enhancements. So we'll dive into these now, do a quick demo, and we'll also touch on some of the smaller enhancements that are coming as well. So for the updated web user interface, we'll give you a live demo so you can see exactly what this entails. But not only does it feature a new graphical style, I know the other one had been around for a little while, so we want something fresh, new, and modern. It also has a new intuitive layout and feature organization. So it's not going to be something drastically different where everyone needs to relearn the web user interface, but it will come with some natural intuitive layout changes as well as that new graphical style. It also does offer support for real-time system status updates. The next feature that we've added is the lightweight call center support. Within this feature, there is the virtual call queue, position announcement, switchboard, and call queue statistics. So to dive a little further into the virtual queue, essentially what the virtual queue is a system that allows callers to keep their spots in the call queue without having to physically stay on the line and wait for the next available agent. So what instead will happen is that the virtual queue will provide a series of voice prompts to guide the caller to set up a callback number, and then that will save their spot in the call queue, and they'll get a call back, so they don't have to physically wait on a live line. You can find this in advanced settings under Enable Virtual Queue. Now, the next one is the position announcement. So this feature allows callers to know what position they currently stand in the call queue. So if they're not going to be using the virtual queue, instead you can choose the feature where the IVR itself will announce what position the person is waiting in. And you can choose the interval yourself based on your settings within the web UI. So this is under Advanced Settings, Enable Position Announcement. There's also a new switchboard feature. This basically allows users of the UCM, so let's say either managers of your call center or anyone with a little bit more of an administrative role, can access the UCM switchboard interface, and this will allow you to monitor and track the status of individual extensions within the call queue and control those incoming and ongoing calls. So some of the features you'll be able to control are things like hanging up calls, transferring, barging, and inserting calls as well. And this is located in the call queue section under switchboard. Now, the other big feature within the call center support is the new call queue statistics feature. Basically, these are system-generated reports that will provide a wide variety of performance tracking data on your agents and on the call queue trends. So some of the examples of what's available in these reports would be things like how many calls are received, answered, percent performances, abandon rates, and more. So this is located again under Call Queue in the Call Queue Statistics tab. And here is just a bit more of a depiction of what this feature looks like and what statistics you can actually get within these reports. So within the report, you'll be able to check the amount of received calls, those that were answered and unanswered within the received calls, number of calls that were transferred, and then you'll also have percent answered and unanswered and also percent transferred. Additionally, you'll see who's been able to log in and log off, what time, how long they've been in, etc. Average talk time, average wait time. You can look into how many queues you have, who's in the queue, number of agents and the agent performance, hour, day, week, and month information. You also look at how many or which specific calls were abandoned and also percent abandoned, as well as agent unanswered amounts and user unanswered or rejected amounts. So this way you can get a much better view as to the activity, both with the users calling in to your call center, but also those agents that are working through your call queue and assisting customers. Now the next major feature is the SIP presence feature. So what this feature does is basically allows phones with program keys to monitor the service status of assigned extensions. So the way that this basically works is the phone sends a SIP subscribe message to the UCM to check for the changes in the status of a specific extension, and then the UCM will send a SIP notify message back to the phone. And you can program this under the phone's web UI under settings, programmable keys. A little bit further into SIP presence, so this is some of the information that you can control but also view using the new SIP presence feature. So you'll have presence status lights. You'll have green, which can indicate available, away, or create a custom presence status. Or if the light is off, it'll be either unavailable, chat, or do not disturb. You can customize these based on what you'd like. When it comes to the custom do not disturb setting, you can do Dnd, which basically all incoming calls are automatically rejected. Doesn't matter who's calling. You can also, however, have a Dnd Whitelist. So when you're on Dnd, only the numbers on the whitelist can actually make those incoming calls. So let's say, only managers or only team members can actually come in during Dnd based on their numbers in the whitelist. And then also there's a Dnd Time Condition. So you can set a time condition in which to enable Dnd. So whether it's during a meeting, during lunch, perhaps in the evenings when you're not in the office, depending on what you need. And then lastly, you can update the status with feature code. So this is customizable through the web UI, and users can actually set their own presence status by dialing predetermined feature codes that will, of course, connect back with the command for their presence status. Just to quickly go over the other firmware features. Now, these are not quite as hefty as the ones we just went over, but they will, of course, still be added to the firmware upgrade. So one of the main features will be restoring blind transfer callback to the user who originally performed the transfer. So if I'm blind transferring a call to Fareed, he can't answer, that call can be restored directly back to me, so that call is not lost. Additionally, there is a custom privilege for wake-up service to further enhance the hospitality set of features. Additionally, there is the ability to periodically clean files from external storage. So that will help. That way you won't have to go in there manually to delete files when storage becomes full, or perhaps miss out on the ability to store new files because of overlooking the fact that your external storage has become full. There's also support for DoD, sending DoD numbers of the call forwarder or the ring simultaneously extension. There's also support for call queue forward whitelist and also call queue autofill. Additionally, fail to ban for web log and attack defense will be added. And we've also introduced a limitation on the number of call queue attendants to maximize audio quality. So you don't want to always oversaturate the UCM with too many call queue attendants in a way that might actually make your audio quality suffer and therefore, of course, not assisting your customers or any other callers as well as needed. And lastly, there's also added Ipv6 support for T.38. So now what we'll do is quickly go into a live demo that Fareed will be able to provide, and then at the end of the live demo, we'll do a question and answer session. So a reminder, use the chat feature on your interface, on your meeting interface, to submit your questions, and we'll get to them during the Q&A session. So I'll pass it on to Fareed now for a quick live demo so you can get a real view into the redesigned interface and some of the new features that we've added. So let me just pop out of this presentation, and I'll pass it on to you here, Fareed. There you go. Alrighty. Ready?
Hi again, everyone, and thank you for joining us to this video talk today about the UCM 61, 62, 6500 series. So they are all upgraded. They will be upgraded, and they will all have this 1.0.14 firmware that will include all these features that Dorothy spoke about. Obviously, we can certainly log into the web interface. Please send back to, from my experience, I feel like it's faster as the old one as well, compared to the old one. So this is the new switchboard. That's just the status page of what we call status on the previous web UI. So it shows you the configuration partition instead of going to that specific menu on the old firmwares where you can retrieve all this information, available space, used space, and it also shows you the data partition, the CPU usage, the memory usage, you know, whether there's a USB plugged in or an SD card is plugged into the UCM trunks. It shows you just the summary, how many are registered and the status of them. You see I have one that's in red right here, and there's an orange ringing, and then blue for available or registered. Obviously you can go into more details about that status by, you know, we'll show you another menu there. The LAN, the interface, the physical interfaces, USB is not plugged in, SD card is not plugged in. We've got the LAN port that's used, just one interface. This UCM is on a switch mode. 2 FXS ports not used, 2 FXO ports not used as well. They are all gray. Extensions, it shows you how many are registered. 5 over 26, so we created 26 extensions on the system, but only 5 of them are currently registered. The system has been up for, you know, well, this is the system time. Should tell you somewhere else what how long it's been up for. And then